everyone, welcome to Startup Academy. So in today's lecture we shall be discussing about the Indian government policies and schemes that are relevant for your UPSC, ISS and IAS examination. And for today the month that I have chosen is July 2025. So before actually moving forward, I hope you all have received that PDF and you all have joined the Telegram channel. So we are moving on forward. Okay. Today we shall be discussing about the schemes for year 2025 which are important for your UPSC examination. Now, if we talk about the Indian government schemes, in July, the first scheme that we shall be discussing about is almost similar to the one that we discussed in the previous lecture. Okay, which is basically nothing but the Rozgar Yojana. That means the increment in the incentives and related things that will be followed. Okay, the first one scheme that says it is related to employment linked incentive, which is known as ELI scheme. That means incentive could be like a something that is given to you as an appreciation, जैसे कि तनख्वाह हो सकती है, your monthly salary or increment in your salary, like that sort of thing, that is called incentive. Yesterday also I told you. So in this scheme what happens is it is launched by which ministry? It is launched by the Ministry of Labor and Employment. So you should know which ministry was involved in this. Now its implementation date is July, but application period over here is August to 31 July. That's why we studied it in August session as well, and in July session also we are studying it. Another thing, creating formal employment and social security coverage. Social security coverage and creating employment in a country which is facing a huge crisis of unemployment, therefore decreasing the unemployment sector and increasing the employment sector of India. Therefore the government bought this policy so that the unemployment could be degraded at its basic level. Another thing that it has is incentives to first time employees and employers. What happens is when you are given a certain sort of job, or we can say an appointment, so in that you are just given the basic value. So that basic value, you cannot have that basic value from anyone, you cannot have money from anyone. So having money or gaining money, or we can say the earning money, is very difficult in this world. So what happens is the government is providing you the platform where the new employees can come and they can gain incentives. So this is the basic Rozgar Yojana, which will be providing you nothing but the employment, which is the basic need of the most of the youths that India usually has. Another thing is beneficiaries who would be getting benefits. So here we have the youths who would be benefited, then first time workers. Obviously, if you are working first time, so someone will keep you only on the elementary sort of things. But the government is also keeping you on basis of your previous experience, and also if you are new to the sector, then also they will be offering you jobs. So this is very we can say very basic thing that was required in today's world, and especially in today's condition, the India that is facing right now. Another thing is MSMEs and manufacturing sectors. So all these sectors would be benefited by Bharat Rozgar Yojana. Now, another thing that you can include is about social justice, the economy sector, the employment sector. And once we will cover about the topics of the economy, there also you can include the scheme which will help you to elevate your answer writing skills. Okay, then we have the SPRE 2025. This SPRE 2025 ESIC is again important, important from the point of view of your examination, because here they are saying that which ministry is related. Ministry of Labor and Employment is related. ESI refers to what? Okay, today is Lori, so happy Lori to all of you, and happy Lori from the Startup Academy. and I hope you will enjoy the festival. The delight of the festival shall come into your life, the lightful festival you can enjoy. So these are the hearty greetings from Startup Family to all of you. So happy Lori. Okay, coming back to our coming back to our uh, PDF. Okay, we are talking about the SPRI ESIC, which says employees state इंश्योरेंस कॉर्पोरेशन. ठीक है, तो इसका मतलब क्या होता है? इन दिस द एम्प्लॉयज स्टेट इंश्योरेंस स्कीम शैल बी प्रोवाइडेड एंड दिस account is handled by none other than but the government. Since we are discussing about the government schemes and policies, तो ये account भी जो है वो किसका होता है? गवर्नमेंट का होता है. तो what happens is in this account it is related to लेबर एंड एम्प्लॉयमेंट. चलो पहले ईएसआई के बारे में थोड़ी सी बात कर लेते हैं. ईएसआई जैसे आपकी एलआईसी की पॉलिसीज होती है दैट आर प्रोवाइडिंग यू द हेल्थ बेनिफिट्स. दे विल बी प्रोवाइडिंग यू द एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव फैसिलिटीज, सोशल फैसिलिटीज. तो वो सारी फैसिलिटीज प्रोवाइड करने के लिए टू द वर्कर्स और टू द एम्प्लॉयज वी हैव अ सेक्टर इन द गवर्नमेंट part of India as well, which is known as ESI, which will be working in the favor of getting the insurance or gathering the insurance schemes for the workers who are working or the employers. So this is basically known as Employer State Insurance Corporation, which is working for administrative purposes. Administrative insurance, it gives you social insurance, health, and it gives you financial, of course. These sort of insurance, there are furthermore insurances. These sort of insurances are provided to the workers or the employers and also to their families under which act? Under the act in which employee state insurance scheme or the corporation was conducted. Also, this corporation is government based. So most of the people believe that it is a private sector that will be gaining profits, but no. For your information, it is the government sector that handles all these information and all these sectors are ruled. So all these services are provided by the government to the people who are known as employees and also to their families to a certain extent under certain protocols and conditions. Of course, terms are also there. Now, duration is again 1st July, since we are studying about the July month, therefore its duration is 1st July to 31st December, that recently passed away. Now, what are its aim? Voluntary ESI registration without penalties. What happens is when you volunteer for something, like you bought a new car, therefore you will be getting an insurance done for that car of yours. So you will have to pay certain scheme, certain we can say certain amount. But now, if you will be paying in the duration, within the duration, there will be no penalty, so that everyone can avail this sort of opportunity. And this is very opportunistic part for the people who are working and for the people who are employees. Another thing is no retrospective fines, simplified compliances. Retrospective fines refers to those fines that used to come from the previous ages, like जो चीजें पहले से carried out होते हुए आ रही हैं, तो उनके लिए उनका जो बाहर है वो आगे फॉरवर्ड नहीं होगा. लाइक द ओल्ड, आपने सुना होगा रेट्रो टाइप ऑफ तैयार होके चलते हैं. फ्रॉम दैट ऑल्सो यू कैन कंपेन दिस वर्ड विच सेज दैट रेट्रोस्पेक्टिव टाइप, मतलब ओल्ड फैशन, जो ओल्ड थिंकिंग टाइप ऑफ चीजें होती हैं, तो दोज थिंग्स शैल नॉट बी कैरीड ऑन फॉरवर्ड. अनदर थिंग दैट is the beneficiaries, unregistered workers and employees. Since registration requires certain sort of amount, therefore who are not registered shall be benefited because it requires no penalty and nothing. You just need to register yourself, and even if you are unregistered, all those will be benefited because there are certain workers who are working throughout the day and who are not aware of such I would say such schemes and policies of the government. Therefore all these money is taken by the person who is the partner or the tender from the side of the government. Therefore he is being benefited from the side of the government. The money has been taken, the money has been given from the side of the government, and there's a tender between the government and the public, and that tender who is collecting the money says that okay, I shall be distributing all this money to the people of yours, but people are unaware of such things, being illiterate, being unaware. This is taken as an advantage by the tender, who keeps all the money with himself and shows the fake registries to the government, who believes that okay, our tender has done our job and therefore our job is also done. So such things are to be eliminated. Therefore, such I would say awareness has to be created that certain sort of schemes exist. Therefore, you need to go and avail these opportunities. Another thing is you can write about social security and labor reforms in this answer if you want to include more parts. And okay, there was a certain reference calls as well which said that how to, you are mentioning about UPSC relevances, but how can we frame them? You need to frame your answers. Such things shall be taught to you in, I would say, ethnic studies and integrity studies if you are really preparing for UPSC. So ethnic and integrity studies will help you to relate these answers. But since you are preparing for ISS and UPSC exam, ISS and IES examination, therefore this coaching, that is Startup Academy, shall only be providing you the relevant details that you can mention over there. So only a term based thing will work on your side. But if you would have been a UPSC IAS or administrative department, then you would have known about them from the ethnic and the integrity studies. But since you are preparing for IES and ISS, therefore, if you will mention such terms, that will also work in your case. Okay. Coming to research development and innovation scheme, also one more thing, if you are not satisfied by mentioning only the terms, then such terms shall be taught to you while we will cover the economy sector of yours, history and polity sectors of yours. So there also you will get to know about these terms. Mostly the terms are coming from the polity and the economy section, therefore they shall be covered over there, so you need not worry about that. Now we have the research development and innovation scheme, which has been again taken by the Ministry of Science and Technology, and approval date was again 1st July because we are covering July. Outlay is 1 lakh crore. Now what will it happen? It will again, okay, July and August are basically interrelated, therefore most of the things you will find them in common. Again, it is related to boost private sector. The government is privatizing all of its sectors. Therefore, in order to boost the private sector, we have R&D, we have science and technology scheme that will boost the R&D scheme in the private sector as well, so that the private can grow on its part. And as private grows, the country grows in itself, because it can spread its arms in the foreign as large as it wants. Under the government, the things will stay back because the people would benefit themselves, but since benefit the public, and benefiting the public on large amount will take a huge time, like the time required to form the coals. Okay, so that time we do not have, we need the progress within weeks or periods. So private sector is basically ruled by the single person. So single person will work according to his own will, and therefore he will uh, he will focus on conquering the major sector within the less time limit. Therefore, privatizing is the basic unit that the government is right now focusing upon, which people think that should not happen. So you can comment your thinking, what do you believe, whether the privatization of the Indian sectors is good or bad according to you. You can tell. Now another thing, who will be beneficiaries would be startups who have just started the things. Therefore they would be benefited because it lays 1 lakh crore, so you can get loan on very basic limits and basic amounts, and you would be having those innovative ideas and schemes. So if the government approves, you can again finalize the ideas. Then the research institution and the private sector again. Now moving on to the fourth scheme, which says the fourth scheme is National Cooperative Policy of 2025, which has been released by the corporation sector. So corporation sector is one of the known and the basic major sector of India, and its launch date is 24 July 2025. What does it aim? This scheme aims for strengthening the cooperative institutions through professionalism and technology. So professionalism is again the aim. Until and unless you are proficient in your course or in your degree or in certain skill of yours, so that profession shall be counted because you are proficient. Until and unless you are proficient, you shall you can go on higher amounts, you can reach on to higher goals and reach up to higher limits as well. Another thing is beneficiaries would be farmers, dairy cooperatives, rural credit societies. What happens is this scheme is basically on the national platform which conquers or acquires to conquer the basic things who are connected. That means on very basic level we have panchayat, on another level we can have district, then we can have state, and then we can have the supreme part, that is the central part. So this is basically the connectivity. So central is not directly connected but is interconnected to the panchayats. That means the center knows about the panchayats from various stages of its. Like that only we are connected to the basic stages of the corporation so that we can connect to a higher level. So this will basically help you to connect to a higher level while connecting to the stages. Whenever you need to climb, you just climb one staircase. So therefore climbing one staircase will make you aware of all the things that has been passed through those stairs. So like that also the connectivity is related, like one step you would be conquering, so you would be knowing every detail of each step. Like that also the government tries to conquer the each step, like it would be conquering the step in the in the rural sector. So rural sector would be would be conquering the sector, town sector, and then the town sector will come to the urban sector. Ultimately the government will know what all priorities are to be given, where the money has to be invested, and where the most important part has to be taken care of, or while noting down or while plotting certain things and while getting the data, they will be aware कि हाँ हमें कहाँ पर changes करने हैं और कहाँ पर changes हमें नहीं करने हैं. तो बस उसी स्कीम को डील करने के लिए we have the national cooperative policy which basically includes all the cooperative sectors from rural to urban places. So this if I talk about this, so scheme 1, scheme 2, scheme 1 that is basic रोजगार and scheme 2 that is spree. Okay, spree I didn't tell you. spree का मतलब होता है यहाँ पर आप कह सकते हो ऐसा टाइम जो कि बहुत ज्यादा आपके लिए अच्छा रहा हो, like the time that has been spent by you while enjoying a small period of time that you enjoyed spending. तो उस टाइम को बोलोगे क्या? spree time. ठीक है, तो 1, 2 and 4 are most important for your examination, so you need to prepare them very well. And the third one, since it is related to science and technology, not more relevant, therefore you can also skip it. So this was all for today. Thank you and keep watching.